What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about 3 different crypto mining stocks today. We'll be talking about CleanSpark first and foremost, WULF for Mr. or Mrs. Shareful and Mike Grant, and then we'll be talking about CIFR as well for Shareful. So CleanSpark, WULF, and CIFR. We're going to start it off with CLSK. Looking at this here, hell of a month in December. Okay, 2 days left, up 115%. We could close the month out like this high, or we might pull back a little bit. That's okay. That's not to be unexpected or unexpected, whatever the proper term is here. We have hit the targets that I was looking for. We've hit that zone, and yes, today I did take profits. I took profits. I sold my options. I even opened up some puts, but I'm still holding my stock, and just in case it does continue to run up, the amount that I'm trading options with, it's very small anyways, in comparison to everything else. But I am pretty confident that we see some turnaround here. If we look at the daily, the volume's dying off. Okay, very explosive moves to the upside, right, at first, and then very laggard sluggishness crawling our way up. Very explosive volume at first, lackluster volume afterwards. Still above average. It is still above average, but it's dying off, and you can see that. Based on this kind of trend that we have, right, from like this high to this high here, right there, we are kind of near this line. I did say that we could go up to it, but I also said that we don't have to. We absolutely could turn around a little bit lower, and in fact, if that were the high, this still kind of looks pretty clean. That's why I hate diagonal lines, man. You can draw it to however you want, but it could go higher based off this look. It absolutely could go higher. The main reason I felt confident in taking profits here is because from top to bottom, we're in the golden zone. We're right in the 618 to 69 area. I took profits at about 1330. Here we are at 1343, so it went up a little bit more. It was starting to sell off. It went back down to 13 after I sold. Because I sold so much, no, just because just happened to, and it went back up, and that's okay. I was feeling very excited. I felt like I sold the top, but nope, it went up a little bit higher, but that's okay. It can still go higher. Again, it could go up to like $15, and then turn around. It doesn't have to turn around right here, but we are in the zone, the white zone, the 618 to 69. That's for loading and unloading only, and I've definitely unloaded there, and I would expect that we see a pullback at least to this green line, if not more, probably maybe to this green line, this 123 or the 382 down here, which is anywhere from about like just below $7 to just below $6. Somewhere in there is where I think we're going, and that would come in line also with this kind of higher low trajectory that we've got going on as well. And it'll probably take time. It's not going to happen like tomorrow. Right, we're not going to dump. I mean, it could, but I doubt it. It'll probably happen slowly, right, or somewhat slowly, like these ones did, right? Yeah. Anyways, this kind of makes sense too, because this would go like into the halving, right? And I would expect that Bitcoin probably pulls back going into the halving, and mining stocks, CLSK especially, tends to run with Bitcoin. So, anyways, looking at the weekly RSI. You can see this is actually the correlation between Bitcoin. They are very correlated. So right now, like this, what this means here is that if Bitcoin pulls back, likely CLSK will pull back because they're very correlated. They're getting like a 0.8 reading on the correlation. But I'm going to delete that. I'm going to take that out. On the RSI, on the weekly RSI, you're all the way up at 88, man. That's pretty hot. Pretty hot. You've only been this overbought 2 other times. The first time was here, and you kept going higher. The second time was here, and you turned around and dropped ass. But the first time where you did keep going higher, from top to bottom, you still dropped in a matter of like 3 weeks or so, maybe a month. Let's see, how many weeks is that? You dropped about 50% in 2 weeks. From the top, 2 weeks later, you dropped 50%. So if we drop fast, that might be a signal that we do continue to move up. But if we drop slowly, as we have here, these more long kind of like crawls down, that might signal that it'll be like some months, multiple months, before we resume the upside. And that's okay. Nothing moves up in a straight line forever. Even this year, it went up pretty straight for a long time, but it even had a little cool-off phase, consolidation phase, where you dropped 50% here from this high to this low. It's even higher and even lower. That's an even bigger drop before seeing some more upside. So anyways, looking at the daily, really strong looking daily RSI. This is kind of tricky because it looks like you could go higher, but also, I mean, you do have bearish divergence technically from peak to peak. Like, do you though? Because you had it here too, and now you're above. Like, you know, it's hard to say, but I would say you do have some kind of bearish divergence. But ultimately, the fact that you're crawling up like this and volume's just not there, it's dying down, tells me that we're getting exhausted. Even if we continue to move up, it's not going to be for long. It's going to be, you know, sometime in January, if not literally maybe in the next 2 days, that this thing starts to dump. Let's look at the 1 hour. 1 hour has bearish divergence. 2 hour has bearish divergence. 3 hour, not as easy to say. I mean, maybe it moves up tomorrow, but very soon I think it's going to drop. So anyways, spent a lot of time on that, didn't mean to, but we're going to move on to WULF. That's CLSK. I took profits. I think it's going to go down. Where's it going to go? Anywhere from like 590 to 690 is kind of my expectations at the moment. If it doesn't go below $7, it will probably at least go below 8, and I would expect that to happen sometime before April. Maybe in February, maybe in March, but before April. So I think we're starting the downside now. If we don't start it now, give it a week. It's probably going to happen soon. But seeing prices below $8, $7, probably March or April. Before April is what I'm thinking. Or maybe February, March. Late February, March. I was looking at it earlier. I'm not just making this up. I think actually late February, mid-March could be the time to buy back, but I'll keep you guys posted. Anyways, WULF here. Looking at WULF, same kind of thing, man. Like, except oh wait, no, sorry, not the same thing. Daily volume actually looks a lot better on WULF. You kind of just broke out, man. This looks really nice. Strong RSI. You are at an area that you like to top out, though, in your RSI. The last time that you were here, you crawled up a little bit, but then ultimately moved down. And then when you were here, you did continue to crawl up a little bit, but then you moved down. I bet you do. I bet you do move up a little bit more, but then maybe consolidate, maybe even move lower. But this thing looks good, man. It looks really, really good. It doesn't have to stop here. You just got overbought in your weekly RSI. Top to bottom here, you might be moving all the way up to $6, $10 before you see some more like significant kind of correction. I think this right now, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but it could move up while Bitcoin moves down. I'm kind of curious. I want to bring back that correlation coefficient here. Let's just see. Yeah, look at that. Right? Not as correlated. They're not as correlated. If Bitcoin were to go up or down and this thing continued to move up, I mean, it's possible. They don't share that same correlation that CleanSpark does, though they often do get correlated. I don't know, man. I might eat my words on that because it looks like you actually just came from an uncorrelated phase. You're probably moving into a correlated phase, so what's bad for Bitcoin will probably be bad for this. But just with the way that it looks on the fibs, man, I would expect that you continue high. You're at your 786. It's not too easy to say. I like the daily RSI. I like the weekly RSI. 2 hour, 3 hour looks fine. 1 hour looks fine probably. Yeah, they all look fine. I think a little bit higher. You really might be moving all the way up to $6 here in the very near future. But if not, because I really do expect Bitcoin to kind of turn around in the next couple weeks, guys. If not like in the next few days, in the next couple weeks, I think Bitcoin's going to start moving down. Probably making our way down toward like something below 35K is what I'm thinking. We're sitting at about 43, 44K right now. So anyways, I can be wrong. I've been wrong before. I can be wrong again. but I think that that move will happen rather swiftly, and then we'll probably lull, consolidate at the bottom, and then start to move up. So just because it happens swift doesn't mean we're going to recover quick, though we might. But again, the whole reason I'm emphasizing this is if Bitcoin dumps, this thing could dump, especially because it looks like it's coming into a more correlated phase. Even though it's not as correlated as CleanSpark right now, it can become correlated if it drops as Bitcoin drops, right? So, and you are at your 786, fairly common enough area to pull back from as well. If you were to pull back from here, you're at 288, maybe move down to about $1.60. Maybe you hold this 230 level. It's hard to say. You know, previous area of resistance here on a closing basis, right near your 0.5. Maybe you hold that $2 area. You go just below, maybe to like $1.80, $2. You found a little resistance here. It's right where your green line is, not your fib green line, but your green line, the 123 moving average. Like, you might pull back there, a whole dollar below. That would be my expectation. So probably up a little higher is my genuine thought. Maybe you do move all the way up to like 350, 340, maybe 330, 320, whatever, and then you pull back. I think that's probably again below $2 is what I'm thinking. Yeah, for Wolf. But it looks good. Looks good right now. I could be wrong, man. It could be making its way. If it wasn't for me like expecting certain things of Bitcoin and the rest of crypto, like if I was just looking at this chart for what it is, I would say you have a very strong likelihood of going up to this $6 area. And if you were to pull back, you'd only pull back to like 230 based off this fib. But there's other things at play than just the fib. But the volume looks nice, man. Like, I don't know. You know, maybe keep it simple. Maybe it is just moving all the way up here. I don't know. It would be weird to me if Wolf continued to move up as Bitcoin moved down and the other crypto stock, mining stocks went down as well. But it can happen. There are those ones that stand out, man. Regardless, I do think you're making your way up here. You just might form a higher low first on your way up there, you know. And really, that doesn't look too weird, at least not to me. Like that kind of movement, right? Up, higher low, down, or up, down, higher low. Let's see. I mean, that would even take you, like, literally, if this was the top, if yesterday the daily close was the top, that'd take you right to your 382. That'd be perfect, right at this green line again, man, right at a previous area of resistance, right at a previous area of resistance, like, previous area of support even. Kind of sounds perfect to me, but I can be wrong. I can be wrong. Anyways, that's Wolf. Probably crawls up a little bit more. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it turns around immediately tomorrow, but time will tell. Let's move on to CIFR, CIFR. But it's spelled with a PH. Decent volume, moving up as well. Love seeing it. Pretty overbought on the RSI, on the daily. You haven't been this overbought in a while. And when you were this overbought, it was nothing really to compare to. So I would say you're getting ready to move down. If you move up, it's not going to be by much. You opened up the day up here, but you came down and closed it. It's not a bad close, though. In an area of resistance, right? Previous area of support, resistance here. You probably do come down. I don't like this weekly RSI as much, but it is good. It's better than it is bad. You're breaking above the green line right now. Generally, with these breaks above the green line, you get a nice move like you're having now, but then you pull back to the green line. And by the time you pull back, the green line probably moves up, you know, so it's not like you're going to go all the way back down here. You could, but I don't know, man. You could keep moving higher, but this is like the hottest you've been on the RSI in this thing's whole existence, except for its very first like few days. Hard to say, really hard to say. 1414 hit, man. If you move higher, maybe move $1 higher, but I don't know. I'm kind of under the impression you might be moving to about $4, if not all the way down to 336 here over the coming months. That's my genuine interpretation. Yeah. Nice volume. Nice volume for sure. RSI doesn't look bad on the 3 hour. Not so bad on the 1 hour either. it looks pretty good on these shorter term time frames, man. I don't know. It's kind of the same thing as everything else I've been talking about, right? If it goes higher, it won't be by much, and the uptrend for this is probably coming to an end fairly soon. But I would say it wouldn't surprise me if it did move higher. I'm kind of under the interpretation that it might move higher. Maybe you do move up to that $6.60, $7 area before going lower. Maybe. Hard to say. There's a big part of me that wants to say it's probably going to move down, but there's a big part of me too that says it could go up higher. Look, your 786 on this overall, it's right there with your 1272, right below $7. It could happen. That could be where you go. But either way, I don't know if I'd buy here. I don't know if I would sell here. If I wanted to sell, maybe I'd sell here. Maybe I'd layer out a little bit, but not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'd probably wait for that 1272 personally. And if it drops before then, I'll just look at that as a buy the dip kind of opportunity. But I don't really know if I have anything else to add, man. Other than that, volume's nice, man. The volume's really nice. You just broke the green. Like it could do crazy things, but the thing that's holding me back from saying this thing is going is the fact that I expect Bitcoin to turn around here pretty soon. Let's actually look at Bitcoin. We'll end the video with this, even though it's not a request. Fairly overbought at the 89, right? We have found resistance in this area before, found it before, you know. With this, we did move up a little bit more, you know. In the coming weeks, we had like 2 or 3 weeks of moving up, so that might be where we get our little extra oomph on the crypto mining stocks. But inevitably, when we were at this level here, or I guess at this level here, where we are now, we were, you know, within like a month of the top, and then probably go down. And you know what else is coming out within a month now? Within like 2 weeks is the ETFs announcements. January 10th is the final date, so I think there's going to be some kind of critical price action happening by then, and I think it's going to be to the downside personally, but I can be wrong. Daily's hugging that 50, but we're not getting positive reactions off it, man. I don't like that. There's no volume. Volume's dying off. We are consolidating. It looks like we could move up, but I don't know, man. This feels different. Feels like it wants to go down, but maybe I'm wrong. I think it does. I do think it wants to go down, but I might be wrong. But anyways, that's all I got. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Have a good day. Have a good night. Bye-bye.